I'm here today with my large jelly plate. This is A4 size. It's from Gel Press. I'm going to be using a sketch paper. This is 50 pounds or 74 GSM. And I want to make some jelly prints for the memory book I'm making for my brother. So this is the start of the cover so that you get a feeling for the vibe. So nothing girly or anything like that. These are the acrylic paints that I have chosen. And I want to use round objects to make the prints. So what I have to make some designs are some handmade stamps. These are just made out of foam. This is linoleum. This one is made with a hot glue gun. These are rings from a shower curtain glued onto cardstock with a glue gun. A piece of wallpaper. I'm not sure what material this is. It feels fairly plasticky. Bubble wrap. Then I also have these caps, and I think this is from a tape roll. And last but certainly not least, I have these front stamps from PM Artist Studio. Love these a lot. So these should be great on the jelly plate. These are made out of foam. They're super light. Next to me, I also have some packaging paper to roll my brayer off. So I'll start off with a mix of these two. So these are very high quality paints. I'm not used to working with such a large jelly plate yet, so I never know how much paint to add. I think that's good. Let's start off with these caps. Then let's take the smaller one. I love how you don't need fancy tools to have fun with a jelly plate. So many things we have at home that are so fun to make very unique designs. Okay, this feels dry to the touch. I'm not using any heat tools, hair dryer, or anything like that this time. I'm purely air drying. So then I want to add a blue layer. We want this to be transparent enough so that we see the design underneath. So then I'll take these stamps. I don't want the paint to build up on these stamps, so I will wipe them with a baby wipe. So again, I let this air dry, which is really testing my patience. I find that the most challenging part with jelly plate printing. And I think that's too much paint, we'll see. Maybe not. Okay, what's happening now is the white paint is mixing with the blue paint. It can only mean that the blue paint was not completely dry, although it felt completely dry to the touch. You see there's a lot more paint buildup here on the edges than there is in the middle. Never had that happen before. These jelly plates are really always good for surprises. And my design is completely gone. I don't even need to pull this one off to know that this is not going to work. So let's add some more paint. I don't know if it's this jelly plate, because I was having so many problems last time already when I was making my denim prints. Many of you thought it was because of the chalk paint that I was using, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, so I'm going to add these back in. Whoops. because I see nothing. And I'm actually going to move this to the side to let it dry and take my small jelly plate and see what happens there. I'm going to start with some white. Whoops, no, 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 no. Let's take this off again because this is way too much. I have the feeling the surface of this one is different. I don't know what brand this is. Maybe it's Gelli Arts. How fun are these steps? So then I'll set this off to the side to dry. And guess what? I have another one. We're just going to go for it today and we'll see if there's a difference in the different jelly plates because I have not been having a lot of luck with my large one. And I don't think it's me because I have had very successful jelly prints. Let's use my handmade foam stamps. So this is absolutely completely dry. I'm going to add some sand color and pull it off immediately. Because at this point, I just want something that works. That looks like it's a nice thin layer, and I have cut down my sketch paper to fit this size. So it's not high contrast, which is obvious with the colors I used, but it worked. The pink was obviously on the plate before, which is fine. So this works just fine. This one is dry as well. For this one, I'm going to try this blue. Obviously, I'm rubbing a lot longer than you see me do on video. Not very exciting to watch. So also this one is pulling off beautifully. Again, not very high contrast, but we do see the design. So I need to use a bigger contrast in my colors. And then we have the big one. Yeah, so this also seems to be dry. So let's use this olive green. And already I see how it's behaving differently again than the other two plates. No. I'll try a pull before everything mixes, but I don't have high hopes for this at all. Yeah, this is not going to be a good print. Most of the paint came off, so that's good. But again, we don't see a whole lot of contrast here. I have no patience for this one today. I want results, so I'm just going to pack this away. You are such a diva, you don't get to play today, I'm sorry. So let's continue with these two. Let's start off with a darker color this time. Going for high contrast. So both of these have air dried. Let's add some sand color to one of these. We're going to do another layer. For the second one, I'll use this light blue. And I'll add my bubble wrap. And for this one, I'm going to use my wallpaper. Which actually gives a very similar pattern. So both of these are dry. Let's add some of this beautiful yellow ochre. I'll do that on both because they're both going to look very different, obviously, because we have different colors underneath. And I forgot to cut papers to size, so we'll just use these, which are actually a bit big, but that's okay. Okay. Ooh. They're pulling off pretty nicely. Yeah, so here's definitely more contrast. I actually love these areas right here, the spotty one here as well. So I'm happy with this print. Let's check the other one. Oh yeah, this is also beautiful. Interestingly, we see nothing of this pattern in the background. How weird is that? But that's okay, it's still a cool print. So let's try something else. I'm going to use this and put the yellow ochre on top. Oops. You have to be careful because it moves. I think this would work better with a stencil, which probably wouldn't move as much. Or you tape it down or something. Okay, a bit splotchy, but that's okay. Let's see if what I'm saying is actually true and use a stencil on this one. This sticks a lot better. This is going to give us a much better result. Yes, I love this one. Wow. So both of these are dry. To this one, I'll add some blue. And then I'll add, or do I add? Yeah, I'll add some of these wonky circles that I made with my glue gun. And I'll pull that off right away. On this one, I'll add my olive green. And I'll add this stamp carved with linoleum. I don't see it. I don't know if this is going to show up. Always so exciting to see what comes out. So this is quite fun actually. I like this one. And then this one. Oh, this is quite unexpected. We do see the rings here and here. The blue, where did that come from? Was that on the plate before? I don't even remember, apparently. But I like how grungy this one looks. Happy with that one. This one needs something else. Since we don't really see the rings underneath here, the ones I made with this one, let's just put them on top. So I'll just use my finger to add my paint. And just use that as a stamp. Definitely more visible now. I don't know, does it need anything else? How about some darker circles with one of our caps? Okay, not sure how much I'm loving this anymore, but it will make some fun collage fodder. I do want to add some more interest to these two as well. Whoa, let's take some of that off. Oops. Put it on this one. This time I'll make a ghost print of this stencil. Ooh, this is actually beautiful. This is just a regular copy paper. Oh, but now this is too dry to print on here, I think. Well, no, let's give it a try. Oh, no, that's fine. That is fun. I like that. Let's do this one. And there's still some of it on, so that will also be seen on the next print. Let's use these stamps. And put that on straight away. Love it. And I'm going to leave this just like that. So I'm also going to use this one, but it needs something else to make it a little more fun. So let's use this yellow ochre. I'll again try this one, but this time I will use it as a ghost print. Trying to get in all of those empty spaces. Oh, fun! It's like never ending. Now we'll have to do something with that one. So I have two designs here now. Should we try? Let me just try that. That's weird. Okay, we need something else for this one. This one needs a color to pick it up. Let's use the blue. Yes. Gorgeous. I also want to add something on top of this because what is this? So let's move these a little closer. They're not the same height. Actually, this one is almost double as thick as this one. And I just changed my mind. Let's do something else. Let's put these aside for a moment and directly stamp on here because I feel like I have a little more control of that. So let's use these, and let me use my ochre, put it directly on my brayer, and then go over this. I'm thinking maybe I should have used a darker color. Yeah, I don't think this is the greatest idea, but let's not waste that. Let me stamp that here. That is fabulous. So let's try this again and use this one. Add that to the brayer. It's not the best way to do it, and I also think this is going to turn green now, which is okay. So you don't want too much paint going in between there. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, that's fine. Okay, let's stop. Always hard to know when to stop. And then I'll take the small version. And this time I'll try it with my fingers. This is going to turn out, I think, light green, not really white. Okay, now I put some paint on my packaging paper. Yeah, that's better. Kind of use that as a stamp pad. That gives me a better coverage. Who says that even though you're starting with a jelly plate, you can't do something else afterwards? Okay, now I like this one as well. And of course, once you get started, you can't stop. And if you are wondering, how am I going to use these in my memory book? I have no clue. I want to have options. So that's cute. I need to add something to this one, and I'm totally going off course now by adding this abandoned coral distress oxide. I don't think this will go into my brother's memory book. It will be used for something else, but I just think this color combination is going to be beautiful. And I'm using an ink pad rather than the acrylic paint just because I'm being lazy. Because when I use the acrylic paints on these, the paint gets in all these little nooks, and if you don't clean those out, with time your stamp impression of course won't be as crisp anymore. And the ink from the stamp pads of course stays completely on the surface, and it's much easier to clean. Oh, that's fun. So I can use this in another project as collage fodder. And then for this one, I'll use my Uncharted Mariner. Bit crazy, but fun. And we also have this one. I'm going to add some aged mahogany distress oxide with a smaller version of this stamp. And then I'll use an even smaller version with picked raspberry distress oxide. Ooh, that really stands out. Okay, stop. And I think this one might be my favorite of all the papers that I made today. How fun. Okay, let's try another version of this with my other stamps. So I'll take this one and I'll take mustard seed, which is a very, very juicy color. Then we'll use this single one, same series. So this series has these three. I'll use the aged mahogany again. And finally the picked raspberry for the smallest one. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. These make for really great wrapping papers. I do this also with packaging paper and it looks absolutely fabulous. Actually, let me show you one. I have one close to me. And let's stop. This is my favorite one. Who needs a jelly plate? So this is what it would look like on packaging paper. I've wrapped one of my journals in here. How fun is that? So let's look at all of our results. So these are all the jelly plate prints. I am semi-happy with these. It's always fun to experiment, but what I really struggle with the jelly plate is the drying time in between. For you, this took only a few minutes. For me, this took, I think, almost 3 hours now, all in all. I cut these down. Will I use them in the project? Let's see. But my favorites have got to be these. I don't know if it's just the colors. No, I don't think it's just the colors. I love these so much. Hope you had fun. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!